Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. In this video, we're going to be discussing one of the fabled Hallows, the Resurrection Stone, and whether or not the possibility exists that it has some kind of connection to the veil inside the death chamber of the Department of Mysteries. In case you don't already know, the Resurrection Stone is of course one of the fabled Deathly Hallows. The Deathly Hallows are all-powerful magical artifacts stemming from the tale of the three brothers, Antioch, Cadmus and Ignotus, and their altercation with death. The three brothers were all members of the famed wizarding family, the Peverells, and their claim to fame was their ability to cheat death, or so they thought, at least for a short period of time. After conquering death, a personification of death, under the guise of congratulating them, awarded them with three gifts: the Elder Wand, the Resurrection Stone, and the invisibility cloak. Each brother chose one of the gifts that death had presented them. Ignotus, the youngest, chose the invisibility cloak. Cadmus, the middle brother, chose the resurrection stone, and Antioch, the eldest, chose the elder wand. In this video, we're going to be more closely taking a look at the resurrection stone. From the tale of the three brothers. Then the second brother, who was an arrogant man, decided that he wanted to humiliate death still further, and asked for the power to recall others from death. So death picked up a stone from the riverbank and gave it to the second brother, and told him that the stone would have the power to bring back the dead. The stone is said to be the only object that could bring back the spirits of the holder's deceased loved ones, activating when turned 3 times in the user's hand. So naturally, when Harry gets a hold of it, he uses it to summon some of the loved ones that he had lost. He uses it to summon his mother, father, Sirius, and even Remus. They were neither ghost nor truly flesh, he could see that. They resembled most closely the riddle that had escaped from the diary so long ago, and he had been memory made nearly solid. Less substantial than living bodies, but much more than ghosts, they moved toward him, and on each face there was the same loving smile. James was exactly the same height as Harry. He was wearing the clothes in which he had died, and his hair was untidy and ruffled, and his glasses were a little lopsided, like Mr. Weasley's. Sirius was tall and handsome, and younger by far than Harry had seen him in life. He loped with an easy grace, his hands in his pockets and a grin on his face. Lupin was younger too, and much less shabby, and his hair was thicker and darker. He looked happy to be back in this familiar place, scene of so many adolescent wanderings. Lily's smile was widest of all. She pushed her long hair back as she drew closer to him, and her green eyes, so like his, searched his face hungrily, as though she would never be able to look at him enough. The shades that Harry had summoned were just like the people that he had imagined in his mind. The stone worked. It brought them back. The catch? It doesn't bring them back properly. It only brings back the shades of these people, giving the holder of the stone a mere taste of what it's like to have these people back in their life. The stone's inability to properly cheat death was death's way of punishing the arrogant Peverell brother. It just gave people a sample of what it would be like to be reunited with these people, and in Cadmus's case, he killed himself to be with the girl that he loved once more. All of these associations with death, connected to a real-world, tangible, physical object, reminded me of something else in the Harry Potter universe: the veil. On level 9 of the Ministry of Magic lies the Department of Mysteries, the section of the Ministry responsible for researching all of life's great mysteries. Love, space, thought, time, death. These were all areas of focus for the Department of Mysteries, investigated by Ministry workers known as the Unspeakables. Inside of the Department of Mysteries lies the Death Chamber, a large, dimly lit rectangular room with a sunken stone pit. However, the most notable feature of the Death Chamber is certainly the enigmatic stone structure known as the Veil. The Veil is an ancient stone pointed archway that serves as the barrier between the land of the living and the land of the dead. It's an ancient, crumbling relic that no one fully understands, and is the subject of much investigation by the Unspeakables. Though inviting, the archway is a one-way trip, as if someone from the land of the living passes through it, they inevitably die. Sending messages through the veil is not possible. However, when the souls of the dead recognize a loved one that approaches the veil, it has been expressed that they will try to communicate. When living people enter the veil, They appear to experience a relatively painless death, almost as if they are in a high wind, before simply falling in. It's also been expressed that once someone begins to pass through the veil, they are beyond saving. No one knows who actually created the veil, as very little is actually known about it, but I have a theory. Who better to create a barrier between the land of the living and the land of the dead than Death himself? We know from the story of the Deathly Hallows that the personification of death plays a role in the wizarding world, and I can't think of a more suitable candidate for the creation of such an artifact. Additionally, I believe that the veil itself has a connection to the resurrection stone from the tale of the Hallows. Both objects serve as gateways or barriers between those who are living and dead. The only difference is the achievable level of communication. With the stone, you can generate actual physical shades that you can directly interact with, whereas with the veil, it has been expressed that you can only hear, if you listen closely, those from the land of the dead. It has also been expressed that you won't be able to communicate back, that is, unless you travel through the veil, reaching the point of no return. While neither Harry's parents nor Remus died by falling into the veil, I still feel like Sirius's death at the hands of the veil reinforces this connection between the veil and the stone. It seemed to take Sirius an age to fall, his body curved in a graceful arc as he sank backwards to the ragged veil hanging from the arch. Harry saw the look of mingled fear and surprise on his godfather's wasted, once handsome face as he fell through the ancient doorway and disappeared behind the veil, which fluttered for a moment as though in a high wind, then fell back into place. This is what I think happened. We know that when Cadmus and Death have their interaction, the stone that Death gives Cadmus was simply picked up from the riverbank. Whether he enchanted that stone right then and there is up for you to decide, but given that the veil is constantly described as crumbling, cracked, and so ancient that it's amazing that it's still able to stand, I think that the resurrection stone might simply be a piece that broke off. Sure, the resurrection stone from the film adaptation looks quite polished, but that could be for any number of reasons. Maybe the stone was smoothed and seasoned after time in the riverbank. Or maybe the resurrection stone was a crest or symbol that was attached to the top of it. Either way, I think that there could be some kind of connection there. What do you guys think? Are the veil and the resurrection stone connected, or are they independent gateways of death? Let me know in the comment section below. Until next time, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.